Okay, this is just a very simple video. Had a lot of my friends and family concerned for me here in China. I've been came here on the 15th of January, and of course, right, that was I think the same day that the Chinese government started kind of taking ownership of the virus situation in Wuhan, which is in the Hubei province. And so we didn't really know anything about it when we flew out, didn't know anything about it for the first week or two, and of course now it's all over the place. There are people in most provinces that have it, and it's spreading. I think today there were, 82 deaths and about 3,000 people infected in China. So I'm in a little area near Wuzhou, which is about 3 hours west of Guangzhou, driving, in my wife's hometown. We got here about 5-6 days ago, and had a lot of people asking me about how things are going and what's going on. So I thought I'd do a quick video, let you know things are fine here. In fact, in a lot of ways, we're probably better off than if I was in another area of China. So it's a very remote area. You can see behind me, my wife and her family are having a nice chat. No one's wearing masks. It's all of her closest family. None of them have been to Wuhan. That's actually her grandmother, the shorter lady right there. She just kind of hangs out in back and doesn't say much. And there's a lot of other little kids running around. This kid keeps grabbing my leg while I'm making my video. She just took off. And so kind of the situation is that where we are here, they're pretty independent. My wife's mother and father are pretty much farmers. They raise they raise tobacco and rice mostly, sell the tobacco for some money, and then they eat the rice, some vegetables. They raise some chickens, sell some chickens and eat some chickens, and then trade for pork and other things with close people here in this little village. There's about 1,000 people in this little area, but there's other little villages nearby. Probably the total population within about 10 miles of us is probably, I don't know, 10 or 20,000 people. It's not very big, but it's interesting because they're very self-sufficient. They don't really need to interact with other people much other than their immediate family members. They could really, in terms of interaction with the outside world, if it got really bad, they could just cut off all contact with other people and just live here in this little area and not go near anyone, and I think they'd be pretty well off. They could definitely survive food-wise and money-wise for a number of months without any problems. So as far as how self-sufficient everybody is here right now, because it's Chinese New Year, the sun's getting bright now, I'm going to walk over here. Because it's Chinese New Year, people are, a lot of people are home in remote areas like this where their parents still live off the land, and it's just fine. So they're concerned and they want to be careful, and if they go into the city they're going to buy those masks, but right now all the masks you can find are pretty much sold out. I went to a couple of pharmacies yesterday and didn't find any, and I'm not really concerned. I told my wife jokingly that if anyone gets near me, I'll just a little and then they'll stay away from me. She laughed, but of course we're being careful, and I'm not really worried. So feel like in terms of life here, it's not too bad, and I'm spending my days, I go running in the mornings, trying to prepare for a marathon in May. Hopefully that'll still happen. And I work mostly in the afternoons and evenings. Right now it's nice and sunny and warm out, so I'm out here kind of enjoying the afternoon a little bit before I get back to work. But thought I'd give you a quick update and let you know things are fine here. And yeah, there's a lot of things going off that are scary, but there's also a lot of things that are just fine. And the other little last piece of information I'll give you is I talked to my factories that make our products for us. I own a small little board game manufacturing business, and they're going to push back their starting date. Right now they're scheduling for February 15th rather than like February 3rd. So they're just like pushing everything back a couple weeks, hoping that this thing will die down. But they've got a lot of places on lockdown where you're not moving around a lot. We were thinking about traveling after Chinese New Year, maybe next week, but with this we'll probably just stay here and continue to hang out because it's a nice area, it's beautiful. Conditions are a little rustic for my taste. Sometimes it's a little hard to get hot water. I didn't shave this morning because of that, but it's a nice area and living just fine. So that's my little less than 5-minute update on how it is here in rural China in the midst of this virus. You can see it's pretty much life as normal for everybody, and you can hear people playing basketball in the background and just walking around chatting with their family. So that's it for me, and maybe I'll send another update tomorrow.